As Jelltur and Piper approached the despondent man, he broke down and told them how his farm had been attacked and his family was taken. He came to Mace in hopes of finding any help he could. He believed his family was dragged into the Mocking Mire, a swampy quagmire on the edge of his farm. Piper paled upon hearing the name, but could not dissuade the others from accepting the farmer's quest. Joined by Petunia, the champions set out for Kral's farm, which they found broken and deserted. Piper sent Tootie forward to investigate. Discovering the farmer's house empty, they went inside and uncovered paw prints that led to a mill behind the house. In the mill, their investigation led them to a trail of blood indicating someone was dragged down from upstairs. You can tell that that blood came from something that was being dragged down the stairs, not something that was caught on its way up.
From upstairs.
Something bleeding was dragged down the stairs and out of here.
Well, let's go up. Yeah.
So as you get up there, you see the table with the burlap sack and that little 2-foot by 2-foot door that's in the wall.
I'm gonna look at the door.
I'm gonna go check the sack.
So as you investigate the door, you see that there's no lock, there's just like a little latch, and you're able to open it on its hinge, and as soon as you do, you get hit by this heavy scent of cornmeal.
Okay.
It's the door to the silo.
Yeah, this is the access to the silo. They would dump the meal that they had crushed up high into the silo from this door.
Okay, can I stick my head in and just see if there's any,
Yeah, so as you stick your head in, you look down and it's dark, it's pitch black, but you're able to make out in the darkness just waves of grain.
amber waves of grain, perhaps?
No, it's gray.
Okay.
But it doesn't look like the surface of the grain has been disturbed, so you get the feeling that nothing was thrown in here during the struggle.
Okay.
Because otherwise, that thing would be dead, drowned in cornmeal, because that's one of the dangers of silos.
Yeah, alright. I pull my head back out and close her. Oh, just the silo. Nothing in there.
And Jelltur, you are investigating the sack. You find a tiny little spyglass, a compass, and a journal. And this isn't one of those spyglasses that you see in the player's handbook, like 1,000 gold for this spyglass. This is a dinky little, almost like a toy. This is the kind of spyglass you would get as a Cub Scout. This isn't even Boy Scout level.
Aww.
This is paid for in copper.
Yeah, if you look through it and point it at, like, Petunia, you see that her face is a little bigger.
Hey,
It's pretty much a toy, basically.
does his face look smaller?
If you look through the other end, yes. But not by much.
Okay, I'll do that.
To be fair, it's a really nice toy. It's old and a little damaged by time, which means it was probably passed down. But it's still a fairly good toy. Unlike the compass, which seems to be very cheaply made, and as you're holding it and kind of looking at it, you're going, I think that might be north-ish. You wouldn't bet your life on it, but it functions in a general sense.
Yeah. The journal though. Can I open it?
You can. And inside the journal, there's not a lot that's written.
It's a child.
You see that there's actually a lot drawn.
The child's bag.
Yes, it looks like it belongs to a child, though, to be fair, the adults around here probably couldn't read or write very well either.
But combined with the... So I, lean over and I look. I'm like, oh, this was probably a child's bag.
Yeah, you get the feeling that this belonged to a child who was a little bit of an adventurer, who liked to go out and explore the boundaries of their farm. Because as you're looking through the journal, you see fairly decent drawings of plants and animals. He's no Darwin, but he's getting some pretty good sketches done. There are a few weird ones of trees that are like waving at you, and you're not quite sure what that's about. But as you get to the last page, you see a paw print sketched as if in mud. And I need you to give me a nature check.
I rolled a nat 20.
15.
Non-natural 20.
17.
Oh, 18.
You all recognize that this is the same footprint you saw in and outside the farmhouse. However, this time, because it's more clearly defined, and the kid's a pretty good artist, it is definitely canine.
Oh no, Scratch is your mortal enemy. Dogs.
And the trees that seem to be waving, does it kind of match up with what I've heard about the Mocking Mire trees?
Not really. When you look at it, it seems more like a child's fantasy, where it's a tree that can walk and talk like a person, like some kind of imaginary friend he made in the forest.
So closer to treant, not like a gnarled tree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obligatory check. Was there a full moon recently?
No, there was not.
Okay, just checking.
All right.
Just saying.
The obligatory full moon check.
Well, anytime you run into canine footprints, you gotta find out.
So, it looks like the thing was, whoever or whatever was here was dragged downstairs.
By some kind of dog.
Is there any other evidence of blood anywhere else up here?
Not up here.
Okay.
You got the feeling that something was being dragged down the stairs, fought back, and then got hit against the wall, and stopped struggling after that point.
Well, I didn't know. I was trying to figure out if the struggle was up here. Well, let's go back downstairs and see if we can find any more of that blood then, because clearly the struggle wasn't up here.
Well, the struggle was... To be fair, this is a child's bag.
The child was probably hiding up here.
Then he was grabbed and dragged down.
Which is why there's some blood on the way down.
Yeah, it was something probably like, no, I'm not gonna go, and then he got backhanded, and now he's getting dragged down. So the struggle probably did happen up on the landing, but it probably didn't turn bloody right away, just because it was a full-grown whatever this was versus a child.
They do say you gotta keep that pip hand held high.
It looks like they were taken into the mire then.
I mean,
Yeah.
figured that much.
That's not good.
All right. Well, that's what I'm here for, right?
Judging from the dinner left on the table, though, they're probably not gonna lie to you. Probably not alive.
Well, one way to find out.
It's not that much blood, right?
It's not that much blood, no.
I don't think.
But it's been a few days, though.
All right. Well, let's see if we can follow any tracks. Who does that? That's not my thing.
So that would be a survivalist thing. And as you exit the mill, you find yourself in very marshy ground. You're very close to the edge of the swamp where the farmland and the swamp meet. So while you can't really grow anything here, you can see that it's very good for leaving footprints behind. So whoever wants can make a survival check.
I got a dirty 20.
I got a natural 20.
Aha!
So Kreg, nose to the ground, you start sniffing, and both you and Scratch are able to find the set of footprints that is most definitely canine. And Scratch, you see, following the footprints much more subtly, almost like drag marks, as if something is being dragged behind it as it walks.
It looks like the child was dragged this way. You said it was days ago?
It should be about 2 days, because the farm got attacked, he ran down the road that night. He spent the next day trying to get help, and then you met him the following night, and now it's the following day, so it's a little less than 2 days.
Got it. So, yeah, and that was, also, it was a 24 survival.
Yeah.
So, I continue to track it, I guess.
So with Kreg and Scratch in the lead, all of you are heading towards the Mocking Mire, And Piper, you are not happy about this at all. You do not want anything to do with this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so both of my trackers, give me one more survival roll, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
21.
I want that one.
Not as good. 7. So I start trailing off.
So, Scratch, you can swim. We know this about you. You are able to swim.
Rather not.
You don't want to swim. Yeah. Especially when you look at this water. This is a swamp. This is a marshland. And as you're beginning to walk through, you can see where there are drier paths. Now, the paths are still very muddy, but they're more solid. But you can also see where it turns to complete sludge and brackish water. But it's hard to tell the difference because everything, the water and the mud, are the same color. But you're able to see and tell the difference, so you're able to lead people down the drier paths, like, come this way. Kreg, you look at this and you go, yeah, I can do this. You take one step and plump, just right into the water.
That's about right.
Guys, your dog.
He's not very tall. I forget how tall he is, but he's not very tall.
Aren't you like 4 foot something?
Probably like about that, yeah.
I grab him by the mohawk and pull him out.
I feel like that's a common thing. Just grab him by the mohawk. He's fine.
Thank you. He must have a great roots or something like that, because I'm surprised he's not bald by now.
That's because people kept grabbing him from the side.
That's what's
How do you
left.
think you got the mohawk?
Makes sense.
Valid.
Yeah, fair.
All right, so let's keep. I mean, did we lose the trail, or just this one did?
No, Craig's an idiot. It went this way.
Let's keep going then.
So you all are following this path, making your way through the wooded area of the swamp, and it was morning when you started out your journey, started walking to the farm, spent some time exploring, and now it's nearing noon. It is so dark under these trees that it feels almost like it's dusk. The trees around you have no foliage, and the bark along the trunks is practically black. But their branches, even though devoid of leaves, seem to almost intersect and spiderweb, interlocking in ways that blot out the sun. A fog has rolled in, which has slowed your speed a bit because, Scratch, you're not able to navigate as quickly as you were before. You want to avoid the same fate as Kreg, who is currently shaking like a dog in the back to get the water off of himself. But it feels as though you're traveling in the evening or early night rather than the middle of the day. The temperature has even dropped with the fog, and
Yeah, I draw my cloak a little bit closer around me. Like, this is exactly like the story so far.
Craig's nipples are like diamonds.
cut that.
Nope. Leave that in. It's not that kind of show.
I mean, your bard got laid earlier, so
Yeah, but it was fade to black. We didn't get detail.
that's true.
All right. I guess I'm like, I'm not scared, but I'm like keeping an eye out, kind of like, all right.
So as you move, you just hear softly this chittering laugh off to one side.
It's just the mire.
She says, and then a chittering laugh from the other side.
Hey, Piper,
Yes, Scratch.
what was that about the Mocking Mire? Did you have anything else to tell us about it?
Just that the, inhuman laughter that's sourceless until people who are here go mad usually.
Hey, I don't know, man. Like, if I didn't go mad doing the contract negotiations last year, I don't think that a couple of chuckles are gonna do it for me. And I like clomp forward.
I hope you're right.
Kreg, make me a perception check.
Sure, because, I'm good at those.
Piper's real nervous.
17.
there is a flicker of light off to one side. Pretty purple.
Ooh, pretty light. And
Kreg,
I
no.
point. I point. I don't run. I just say, he's not that stupid.
What do I roll to know that's fake?
That would be a nature check.
I rolled a 20.
With a 20, you would know that in swamps there are swamp gas, there are bioluminescent funguses, and they tend to grow down certain paths. Usually not very safe paths. And they glow to attract insects or prey, and when something larger approaches, they dim.
Yeah, just stay on the path, guys. That's nothing. That's not what we're looking for. Let's keep going.
So I'm going to continue tracking it.
All right, roll me another survival.
The footsteps, not the light.
Yeah.
7. Or do I have advantage because Craig's helping me?
Is Kreg helping you?
I will help.
Then that will give you advantage.
Noses to the ground, butt is up.
19.
So you start down a path and you take a step and you just stop. Your foot is hovering over the ground, but you just stop. You pull your foot back and you're bare pawed. You're not wearing boots or anything, so you can feel the ground a lot better than someone who is wearing the boots. And you can recognize, now the ground has been mushy and semi-liquid this whole time. Where you were about to put your paw, it felt different. And that's what made you pull back, because you realize that's not safe. Whatever that is, it's not safe. You are familiar with quicksand because there is some in the jungle. It's not very common, but it exists.
That was close.
Yeah, with that 7, you would have gone right in that quicksand.
Watch out. There's quicksand here.
The thing is, the footprints did come down this path.
So can I lead us around the quicksand?
There are 2 different ways to do that. You can either wade through the water, which is more on the left-hand side of the path. However, to the right of you, there is a felled tree where you could balance on some of the branches to try and walk over where the quicksand and the water are in the path.
As I might have this option, are there trees?
There are trees.
I have the option to use the trees to get across.
You could. The others would have to choose whether they wanted to wade through the water or balance across this fallen tree.
Athletics?
Athletics would be the water because you're like swimming and wading through this thick, mucky water. If you were to go the tree path, that would be acrobatics. Scratch can just climb.
I want to confirm that the path is continuing on the other side.
So Scratch just jumps up onto a tree, his claws just digging into the bark, and he climbs up, and he just jumps from branch to branch to branch, and then lowers himself down on the other side. And Scratch, once you're over there, you can go ahead and make a survival check. You do not have advantage because Kreg is not on that side of the quicksand with you.
10.
It's hard to tell. You are seeing footprints over here, but you can't quite be sure that they're the ones you've been following this whole time.
As long as I can confirm that that it made it over to this side and that we continued on and that we need to continue on from here and not, oh, it didn't go over the quicksand, it turned left.
No, there's no left to turn.
Okay. So it did come over here. Right.
You get the feeling it did, yes.
Is there anything I can do to help them across?
That depends on how they're trying to get across. It's now their choice. So, what are you guys doing to get across?
I think I'll take my chances with athletics.
Alright, so Kreg is going to swim for it.
Well, I was gonna say, what if he if I wade across. Is it swimming or is it wading?
So this is wading, but this isn't like water at the beach or water at a lake. This is sludgy, mucky swamp water. There is mud, deep mud at the bottom that you are trying to power your way through.
Well, I was gonna say, could Kreg sit on my shoulders?
I would prefer that because I'm a little shorty.
Right.
Sure. He's very heavy, though.
Oh.
Considering the number of weapons and stuff.
Between the
But
the
I thought he was a
weapons and the
lightweight.
muscle. No, Jelltur would be the lightweight.
All right.
Jelltur would be the one that you could put on your
Jelltur it
shoulders,
is
no
then.
problem.
I'll survive somehow. I forgot.
Yeah, for you, you're gonna have to.
You'll rage swim.
Yeah, I guess you're gonna rage swim.
3 are going by water. I'll try my hand with the tree, because my acrobatics is better.
And Jelltur, are you accepting the ride on Petunia's shoulders?
Boom, crit.
Nah, I'll pass on the ride. On the
Alright.
shoulders.
So are you gonna do like Piper and try to make your way across the fallen tree, or are you gonna try and swim yourself?
Let's go along the broken trees. I don't weigh much.
Okay, so Piper and Jelltur, give me acrobatics.
13?
Because I have 17.
So you're making your way across, and Piper begins to lose her footing. And Jelltur, you reach out and grab her and kind of steady her, and you're like, no, follow me. And you hop around and start showing her the safe branches and the safe path to get across. Kreg got his 28, he's doing fine. Petunia, give me your athletics.
Oh, I rolled a 21 total.
21 is good. Petunia and Kreg, please roll a d10 for me.
3.
Twins. 3.
Oh, goody. So, Petunia, you feel something hitting against your armor, like something small, but a lot of it whacking against you. And you're like, what the hell is that?
It's a giant leech.
Below the water?
Below the water, yes. And Kreg, with a 24, I believe I hit you. Because I'm pretty sure the 13 is not going to hit Petunia.
Yes.
You feel tiny pinpricks of pain all along your stomach. And you are going to take
Ooh.
Leeches.
I don't like this.
Big old leeches.
This is gonna be stupid amounts.
15 points of piercing damage.
Whoa!
As you feel little bits of your stomach just being ripped off and bitten. You look down and you see the dirty water mixing with your blood, just becoming this disgusting reddish-brown foam as all this activity is just happening around your midsection.
Ew. Okay, when I see this, I grab him by the mohawk and pull him out of the water.
So you just grab him and you move for the shoreline. You pull him out of the water and you see, just digging their teeth into his stomach, these long-fanged little fish just ripping at him.
Oh, piranhas?
Ew.
Fucking piranhas.
Quippers, actually. They're called quippers.
Sludge piranhas, gross.
Mm.
I'm like batting them away, like trying to like knock them off of him.
You just kind of smack them off of him and you're just like, ugh.
Oh, you okay?
Ow.
That doesn't look good.
Is he okay down there?
Alright, I just need, you kind of gets a cloth and just pats his stomach and just like, that hurt.
You just see chunks of flesh just
Have you-
missing from his stomach.
Little dog, have you ever considered wearing clothes?
Not really.
This seems like a good argument in favor of it.
So as you're all standing there watching as Kreg is cleaning out the gouges and cleaning off the blood and dirty water, you just hear this loud cackling fill the air. And I need a wisdom save from everybody.
Yeah, I figured. Fucking figured.
Ooh, wisdom save. Wisdom I can do.
I can't.
Fail. I got a 3.
11.
17.
21?
12.
I just look, I'm like, no one asked you.
Yeah. No, he deserved that. That's fair.
So, Kreg, you're normally fine with these things, but with that laugh, you feel an emotion you never really felt before. When you hear that laugh, you just pull yourself into yourself, and you feel fear. Like you want to run. You just want to run and get away. But you don't know which direction is towards it. You don't know which direction is away from it. So you just are there. You're stuck.
Also, I've still got him by the mohawk.
That too, but he's not even trying to move.
It's like immobilizing fear.
Jelltur, you just freeze. This isn't fear. You just freeze in place. It's very much that fight or flight. You're completely on edge, but you cannot move. It's like your body is locked in place. Piper, you don't feel any different. You're just kind of looking around. Scratch, you actually notice it. As you turn and look around and you're like, oh, go away, you stupid voice. You turn and you see Piper. She just has tears rolling down her cheeks. She doesn't even seem to know that she's crying, but the tears are just rolling down her face freely.
Piper?
Huh?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Why?
You're crying.
Bring a hand to my cheek and realize, comes back, what, I didn't even know I was...
Make it stop, make it stop, make it stop.
And after a few minutes, the laughter goes away, and Kreg, you feel that fear in your chest just release. Jelltur, you feel your muscles finally relax. And Piper, though your cheeks are still wet with tears, you are no longer actively crying.
Do I have, would I have anything on me that would serve as, earplugs?
You could probably find some moss or something to jam in there.
Yeah, sure. So I'm gonna gather up some moss, and I'm gonna hand it to, the three of them. And be like, here, stuff this in your ears, so you don't have to listen to the stupid laugh.
I don't know if I want to stuff swamp moss in my ears.
Alright, so then get frozen with fear every 5 minutes. I don't care. And I, turn and I put, Kreg down and I hand the moss out to him.
I'll just take something out of my disguise kit and just kind of offer it to Jelltur, something to plug our...
Like that putty that you use to make your nose look different?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll work.
I'll put the moss in my ear.
Because I'm sure that he was going to do it whether I handed him the putty or not. Jelltur made a very valid point about not putting things in our ears like that.
Whatever.
Details.
Petunia don't care.
Jelltur doesn't have a con, so Jelltur's not doing that.
Yeah, there's this weird itching on the inside of your ear, but yeah, it's fine, probably fine.
Details.
Yeah, I will take the putty. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
So Scratch is like, well, this is the general direction we have to go, I think.
Well, now that they're here, can I take a closer look instead of the cursory glance I was doing before?
Yeah, I'll take a look as well, just because I can see that some, the other person who was tracking is a little...
Will that give me advantage?
Since you already did your check, Scratch, I would say no, but someone else can help someone else make the check at advantage if they would like.
I got a +1 to survival. I don't know about you.
Oh, I have a +2.
I'll help.
Probably Kreg helping Petunia.
Yep, I'm helping.
Alright, so what is that, with advantage?
Advantage.
It's advantage, yes.
I mean, Piper, what's your wisdom?
So that's a total of 14.
Well, here's the thing. My wisdom is +0, but my survival is +1 because jack of all trades.
Petunia, you do see the tracks continue on, but weirdly it looks like this guy walked straight across the quicksand.
Oh, that's weird.
That's disturbing.
Looks like it walked across the quicksand, but...
There's not many things that can do that.
Maybe it didn't walk, maybe it just, glided. Or flew. Or jumped.
Petunia, you can tell that those footprints went same depth to same depth. It doesn't have that impact of something jumping or something landing from flight or gliding. It looks like it never broke stride.
Maybe it has really long legs.
It just walked across quicksand. That's scary.
Like I said, not many things can do that.
What kind of things can?
So I guess we
Let's keep going.
continue tracking it.
Yep.
All right, so you continue along the path, and it's getting darker. It's hard to keep track of time in here, but you get the feeling it's probably getting into the afternoon. You're getting a little hungry. You haven't really stopped yet to eat today.
We ate porridge.
Well, you had porridge for breakfast.
Yeah, that's fine.
Afternoon, yeah.
I mean,
That was probably like 10 hours ago.
I'm a gamer, man. That don't mean shit to me.
are we at the point where we should be eating?
I'm saying it's probably at that point where you're reaching into your bags to grab
Yeah.
rations or something to chew on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I'll do that.
you haven't even really noticed until now that you were hungry. Except Piper, you still don't notice. You're so on edge that you won't even think to yourself, I haven't even eaten today.
So I go into my bag and I pull out some rations and I hand some to Piper.
Oh,
Here, eat something.
thank you. I will take it.
We're tracking something in like the wood-like thing, so this is more my element.
Yeah, you're not feeling at home. It's not with the fog, with the environment, but it is more comfortable for you. You seem to, you feel more in your element. When you were in Brath, that's when you were on edge. Here, you're kind of like, yeah, I might not know this area. I may not know this terrain, but this is something that I know I can handle.
No, just go back. I can still see, right?
You can still see. The fog is more like, have you ever been walking down a foggy street at night and you know that there's fog surrounding you, but you can't really see it until it's like 20 feet away, and then you just see the swirling clouds of fog?
Yeah.
That's what it kind of looks like to you. There's just enough to limit your range of vision. It's spoopy, it's not blinding. So it's not like can't see 5 feet in front of you kind of fog. So you continue following it, and I need everyone to give me a perception check here.
And
15.
20.
13.
11.
20.
All right, so all of you in the distance see a flicker of light, except this time it's not purple. It's more of an orange glow.
Is it like a campfire?
It doesn't look big enough to be a full campfire. Maybe something more like a torch.
Please describe to me the motion that this light is making. Would one say that the light is dancing, perhaps?
Little bit,
Hmm.
but the air is slightly still and stagnant, so it's more like a macabre cha-cha.
Can I roll
Cha-cha-cha.
to know if this is some bullshit or not?
Yes, you may. That would be a nature.
17.
This doesn't seem like fungus. It doesn't seem like swamp gas.
This is some bullshit.
No, it seems like it's a torch.
Okay. But not some bullshit.
No, this looks more like something that someone set in place.
Like someone lit a torch and put it here.
It's
Okay.
off in the distance, yeah, but it seems like something someone put there.
Off the path, though.
You can't really tell because the path curves and twists. You'd have to get closer to figure out.
Let's stay on the path and see if it's on the path. Awesome.
Yeah, does it seem to be on the path that we're following?
If you do decide to follow the path, you do notice that it seems to be getting closer.
Okay. Well, let's keep following the tracks.
I'm gonna cast Ninth Life on me.
All right, so you get closer, and you're probably within 20 feet of it before it becomes completely clear that, yes, this is a torch.
And it's on the tracks.
It seems to be still on or near the path.
Okay.
And the torch is going cha-cha-cha.
Yes.
I'm going to concentrate and cast Ninth Life, and I'm going to make a perception check.
All right, make perception.
15. Is there anyone else around here or anything unusual about that torch?
Cha-cha-cha.
The stand that the torch is set upon seems to have been built by something very crudely and in a very rudimentary manner. It's like they took two long sticks or branches and created an X where the top part of the X is smaller than the bottom. Mm-hmm. They then lashed it together and set the torch at the cross of the X. Underneath it, keeping the X steady, is a pile of large, flat rocks that were piled up to create almost a pedestal.
It's a trail marker.
Basically. But about chest high for you, Scratch, there is a humanoid skull set right underneath the torch that has smaller rocks set around it.
Like a shrine or a warning?
Yes. And with your 15, you take a closer look at that skull, and you're looking at the jawline, and you recognize that there's something weird about its teeth. They appear to be slightly broken, but it's hard to tell, was this just a human who had bad teeth? Are these orcish tusks? They're so difficult to make out, but because of this, it's nearly impossible for you to figure out what kind of humanoid this skull once belonged to.
Well, they did say anybody who did come out of the mire was kind of, for better lack of a term, fucked up.
They didn't come back right.
Yeah, they didn't come back right.
So, Scratch, as you're observing this, the silence and stillness of the air allows sound to carry very well, and you hear the stretching of a bowstring, and your ears flick back behind you instinctively, and you hear the release. Does a 16 hit your armor class?
No.
So you jump back in time to see an arrow impact with the trail exactly where you had been standing a moment ago, and from the angle you can tell that it was shot from above you.
I look up.
So you look up and you see this outline of a darkened figure, one arm against the tree, the other holding a bow, and it's looking down at you, and it just snarls and then just takes off. It jumps from the branch it's standing on to another, and then to another, and it starts making its way down the trail.
Yo, fuck you too, man.
First of all, can I still see it?
It is in the trees, so you're going to need to give me a perception check.
That's an 18 plus.
Plus what? That matters.
22.
You beat him. You beat him by 2. He got a non-natural 20. So you can still just barely see its outline as he's moving through the trees.
As he jumps away, I cast Hunter's Mark on him.
All right, so you get a lock on him. And that just gives you advantage on tracking him, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
So you're watching him carve his path through the treetops. He's breaking branches. You can see he has to stay on certain ones that will hold his weight. So you get the feeling with the help of Hunter's Mark that you could definitely track him.
Okay. Could I tell what kind of thing it was?
Make a nature check.
14.
You had the torch right next to your head, so it was kind of hard to see him with the light source right next to your eyes. He was large, dark-furred, fuzzy. It wasn't something that you recognized.
Wait, it's up in the trees. I saw where it was. Can I go up in the trees and check the branch?
Sure.
Or it's just staying right there, isn't it?
No, it moved. It's running away.
Oh, it
It shot at you, missed, snarled, and then ran.
Okay, I'm gonna just go up the tree and take a look. Does it look like it had claws?
Make me a survival check.
14.
With a 14, you do see that there are claw marks in the tree.
So there is a chance this is the same thing that might, or it might be the same thing that we've been tracking.
Might be.
They can shoot fucking bows?
Something you can tell is that your claws look long.
Yeah.
Now that you can see the claw marks that it made versus the claw marks that you made, you can tell that its claws are stubbier.
But does it seem like the same kind of print that, like, could this be the same print?
Yeah, this could be the same claw mark that you saw from the farmhouse. So what I'm saying is now that you can see your claw marks in the tree next to its, you can tell that its claws are much stubbier than yours.
Different use case for them.
Yeah.
Guys, it went that way.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that might be what we're looking for. Is there any checking the trail that we were following?
As you look, you can tell that there is some correlation between the trail that it's taking in the trees and not the trail you were on, but an offshoot from the trail that goes out in a little bit of a different direction.
Do we follow it?
Yeah, we follow.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
I got a mark on it.
Scratch, you can make a survival check at advantage to follow him.
I mean, the torch is here if we need to find the torch again.
That doesn't mean anything in the mire.
All right, let's take the torch with us then.
So this is a survival check?
Survival check at advantage because you're tracking.
13.
13. So as you go down the trail, you can hear the cracking of the branches, but they're starting to fade. And the way the sound carries here is kind of off-putting to you. You're used to taller trees that funnel sound. The way these trees are laid out and how their branches work, it almost seems like they disperse sound in all directions. And then another sound begins to fill the air. Beating drums and haunting wails. Then the sound, much like horns, except they're not brassy and rich. They're almost grating and dry. And again, I need everyone to give me wisdom saving throws.
Even the people with plugged ears?
Even the people with moss in their ears.
I was gonna say with the putty in my ears.
This isn't like the laughing. This is just filling the air. But you know what? I'll say that people who put stuff in their ears, I'll give you advantage.
Oh, thank God.
I rolled two eights back to back, man.
13.
I got a 2 at advantage because the other was a natural 1.
Oh boy.
Aren't you glad you took my advice, though?
Yeah.
I rolled a 19.
20.
20. Okay, and Kreg, you barely made it.
Oh, thank God.
Kreg barely made it. Okay, Jelltur, quick question for you. What do you have in your hands right now? Like, would you have your bow in hand? Would you have a weapon in your hand? What's on hand right now?
The dagger, I guess.
So, Jelltur, you take your dagger and you start flicking your fingernail against the blade. You know how people would use to clean their nails, but you just keep flicking at it. And like, after a minute, Scratch will turn to you and be like, stop. And you go, okay. And then a second later, you're doing it again. You are compelled to keep flicking your fingernail against this blade. It's just constant. You're unable to stop yourself.
Cool. You're gonna fucking use the fingernail.
Well, it's more like you're constantly cleaning it, so that nail's going to get cut shorter, but it's not something that's going to mutilate you or anything.
Put your blade away.
Okay, I'll put my blade away.
You put it in the sheath. Second later, you have it out again so you can flick your fingernail against it. This is a tick you have for a while.
Oh, well, wow.
And Piper.
Yeah.
So you hear this haunting music just fill the air. It's wrapping itself around you, around your mind, and You feel this icy fear in your chest, and you open up your mouth to say something, and it just comes out. You can't speak. This has been the Reliably Chaotic podcast. Champions of Solane is an original Dungeons & Dragons adventure written by Bryan Scharf using the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition rule set published by Wizards of the Coast. My name is Bryan Scharf, and I've been your DM. You can reach me at ReliableDM on Twitter.
My name is Nicole Summers, and I play Piper.
This is Jair, also known as JJ, and I play the character of Jelltur Jactus.
This is Matthew Reed, and I play Scratch.
This is Andrew Brown, and I play Kreg.
Hey, it's me, it's Sara, and I played Petunia.
Theme music by Adrian von Ziegler. All other music by Kevin MacLeod on the Incompetech website and Adrian von Ziegler. Detailed information about music in this episode is provided in its description. Music for this episode was selected by Nicole Summers. The episode was edited by Matthew Reed with assistance from Sara. Contact us on Twitter at Reliably Chaotic, email us at reliablychaotic@gmail.com, or join our Discord server by following the link in our description. If you like our show and would like to support us, please consider becoming a patron by going to patreon.com/reliablychaotic or by leaving a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. It really does help a lot. Thank you for listening, and we hope to see you again in our next adventure.